Alice, it looks like it's 11, so I'm going to get started here.
That's great. I think we
So,
have all our attendees.
yes,
Thank you, Zoe.
you're welcome. Welcome to our Workforce Services for Businesses webinar. I'm Zoe Vandermeulen with CDO Workforce. Not a day goes by that we don't hear about businesses that are struggling to find qualified workers. We've put together this webinar because we want you to know about the resources available to you to help attract, train, and retain employees in your businesses. We've brought together panelists who will introduce themselves and their programs to you. They are from a wide variety of local organizations, including CDO Workforce, ACCES-VR, Commerce Chenango, and Delaware County Economic Development. They will share information about how they help businesses access new labor pools, train employees, and take advantage of tax credits and other funding opportunities. Before we get to the presentations, I'd like to say a few words about how the webinar will work. After the panelists conclude, we will have time for Q&A. Please type your questions into either the Q&A box or in the chat box, and we will have the panelists answer them. When the webinar has finished, we will email you the contact information of our panelists and links to any of the resources that they might have mentioned in their presentation. And we will also make the slides and the recording available to you after the presentation. We're also going to put a recording of this onto our YouTube channel, the CDO Workforce YouTube channel, where you can continue to reference it and you can share it with your colleagues. Now, I would like to introduce our first panel. Alan Sessions and Tylena Daniels from CDO Workforce and Ashley Pacilio from ACCES-VR are here to tell you more about recruiting and workforce services. Welcome, Alan, Ashley, and Tylena. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Tylena Daniels, the Chenango County Employment and Training Director and the manager of the CDO Workforce Center in Norwich. Alan Sessions, Placement Coordinator for the Rural Healthcare Grant and Project Excite, and myself will be discussing the numerous services that the CDO Workforce has to assist with recruiting, hiring, and retaining a workforce and other services to assist with you being successful. We can assist with recruiting employees. We are able to post job openings on the New York State Job Bank in addition to you being able to self-post openings. New York State Job Bank is accessible online and all job seekers can access and search this database. It is searchable by location, keyword, and specific business name. The job order form to post an opening is located on the CDO Workforce webpage, or you can contact us directly to receive the form. We are able to match our job seeker database to job openings. Matches will receive an email with a job description and instructions to apply for the opening. Currently in the database, we have over 15,000 job seekers in the CDO workforce area. In addition to a computerized match, we make direct referral of openings to job seekers. Employment and training counselors personalize referrals by confirming their job seeker meets the education, experience, and skill requirements. We can provide the initial screening of the applicants for you. The job seeker would submit the resume application to us, and we would screen for specific requirements and send you qualified applicants. As part of this screening, we could provide assessment of the job seeker. We can provide a place to hold on-site recruitments or organize a virtual or in-person job fair. Now I would like to hand it off to Alan Sessions to discuss other recruitment services.
Thank you, Tylena. CDO Workforce can assist businesses in promoting their employment opportunities using social media. We use our social media, our newsletter, and the CDO blog and website. Social media reaches audiences that are hard to contact, such as youth. CDO has a growing base of followers. We can help you reach a new audience and increase your applicant pool. Our communications coordinator, Jody Delapaz, has done a great job in expanding our social media reach. We have 435 newsletter subscribers, and 6,000 Facebook followers, and the CDO website has about 3,000 views per month. A Disability Resource Coordinator, or DRC, is available at CDO Workforce. As many employers strive to have a more inclusive workforce, we are fortunate to have a DRC available to help you achieve and maintain a team that includes workers with disabilities. The DRC can expand your applicant pool through outreach efforts to the disability community, and if needed, assist your business in exploring and developing effective accommodations for successful outcomes. The DRC is well versed in the Americans with Disability Act, or ADA, guidelines, and can provide resources to help you comply and support your workers with disabilities. Our DRC can also provide benefit counseling to employees receiving Social Security benefits and ensure that they understand the impact of working and reduce any surprise changes that would result in them leaving their employment. CDO Workforce is also part of the Substance Use Disorder Recovery Project. We can help if you have an employee struggling with a substance abuse disorder. CDO has partnered with the Friends of Recovery in Delaware, Otsego, or called FORDU, to provide ongoing support for individuals recovering from substance abuse disorders. The project has a holistic approach, combining the support of a recovery peer advocate and from FORDU with the resources of a career counselor from CDO. This collaboration enables the job seeker in recovery to continue to work. We also can refer job seekers who are in recovery to your job openings. Once they have found work, we continue to provide resources and support to the workers and businesses, to the worker and business to maintain that employment. In addition, we have a Veterans Employment Program. Our Veterans Employment Rep prepares veterans for meaningful careers, providing them with employment resources and promoting employment opportunities. Jobs listed in the New York Job Bank are reviewed by the rep, and veterans are referred to appropriate job openings. The Veterans Rep will match the veteran's skills and experience to your job description and refer qualified veterans. Now, Tylena will discuss our training funding opportunities.
Do you have applicants that you feel are promising but are lacking some of the requirements or skills needed for the position? Does the applicant require more training? We can assist with funding on-the-job training. During the contracted training period, we will reimburse 50% of the wages of the individual. We will assist with all of the paperwork. This is a win-win for you and the applicant. Other opportunities are funding classroom training such as CNA, LPN, welding, CDL A or B, or training that leads to a credential. We can fund pre-vocational classes such as Microsoft Office, customer service, or leadership skills, manufacturing basics, or other short-term classes. In addition to training, we can assist an individual to be able to start work by funding required work-related clothing, reimbursing transportation expense, or providing gas cards until they receive their first paycheck. Now I'd like to hand it back to Alan to discuss other training services.
Another training funding is customized training. Customized training funding is designed to meet specific needs of a business's short-term training for employees. The training must be conducted by a suitable trainer and with a commitment to continue to employ the workers upon completion of the training. The business must pay at least 50% of the training costs, and customized training is business-driven, where the employer decides who will provide the training, such as an outside trainer or internal staff, and what curriculum will be used, and which employees will be trained. CDO can fund up to $2,000 of training for each selected employee. For online training, we offer the free metrics training. Metrics learning is available to all workers in the Chenango, Delaware, and Otsego County area. This online training is a great opportunity for unemployed and employed workers to obtain a work-based knowledge, which will make it easier for them to advance in their careers. Metrics Learning is a comprehensive platform that delivers assessments and online skill training. Customers will have the ability to complete a virtual registration, update job skills via e-learning courses, and track their progress. Metrics includes intricate assessments, 5,000 workplace skills, business, IT courses, 10 career paths, including 200 occupations, and 100 plus certification training tracks. Another important program that can help you train your workforce is apprenticeships. Hands-on apprenticeships are where workers work, earn, and learn at the same time are a proven path to a competent and stable workforce. In fact, statistics from the Department of Labor show that 87% of apprentices are employed after they complete their training. CDO staff can help your business to start apprenticeship programs to help train and retain your workforce. In addition, we can connect you to the Women in Apprenticeship and Non-Traditional Occupations Grant, which helps recruit, train, and retain women in apprenticeship programs. Last but not least is the Healthcare and Project Excite grants. The healthcare grant serves residents in the CDO area, students attending training for direct care jobs in healthcare may be eligible for up to $2,000 in scholarships towards their tuition. Training healthcare facilities are also eligible for funding, as long as the training they are providing is a recognized direct care certificate. During the fall of 2021, the healthcare grant funded 43 LPN students from the CDO area, plus 7 phlebotomy students, and funded training for 16 recovery peer advocates for Purdue. Students in the registered nurse programs at SUNY Delhi and Morris were also funded. A total of 73 students were funded by the healthcare grant. CDO also offers the Information Technology and Cybersecurity grant called Project Excite. It serves residents across the CDO area. Students planning to attend the training for technical jobs in IT and cybersecurity or advanced manufacturing may be eligible for up to a $5,000 scholarship towards tuition. Project Excite provides for short-term and long-term training funding. Also available is a $5,000 on-the-job training funding to reimburse businesses for in-house IT and advanced manufacturing training for their new employees. We help with all the paperwork for on-the-job trainings, and we make it as easy as possible for the employer to develop a training outline. Since September of 2021, 43 individuals have registered for this funding, many of whom have enrolled in SUNY Delhi's IT and cybersecurity certification online courses, which are fully funded by Project Excite. CDO can also help you connect to Department of Labor Business Services. Margot Burkett is our new DOL Business Services rep working out of the Oneonta Center. Margot and CDO workforce staff can assist businesses in connecting with state agencies for a number of services, including labor law information, health and safety consultations for your business, shared work and general UI information, assistance in applying for tax credits, labor market and prevailing wage information, human resource consultations, including help with writing job descriptions and employee handbooks, and information about the New York Job Bank. Now, I would like to turn this over to Tylena to talk about our youth program.
Our out-of-school youth program provides additional services for an eligible youth. An eligible youth can receive a paid work experience. Traditionally, the work experience is for 300 hours. The individual is on our payroll but works for you. This would be the perfect way to try out a potential new hire. An eligible youth will be 16 years old through 24 years old and have a barrier. A large percentage of the enrolled youth may enroll without a high school diploma. One of the services is the high school equivalency diploma prep. So all youth who do not have a high school diploma are encouraged to prepare for a GED. So our CDO workforce centers are located in Norwich, Sydney, Delhi, and Oneonta. And these are the contacts for the centers in each county, and also the contact for Alan Sessions and Margot Burkett. Now I would like to hand it off to Ashley Pasilio to discuss the services that ACCES-VR can provide.
Good morning, and thank you for your interest in the Adult Career and Continuing Education Services Vocational Rehabilitation. My name is Ashley Basilio, and I'm the Regional Business Service Coordinator for the Southern Tier, Syracuse, and Utica District Offices of ACCES-VR. I look forward to providing you with more information about the services ACCES-VR provides to local businesses. ACCES-VR's mission is to assist individuals with disabilities to achieve and maintain employment and advance in employment to support independent living through education, training, rehabilitation, and career development. ACCES-VR is part of the New York State Education Department and receives funding from both the federal government and New York State government to provide services known as vocational rehabilitation services to people with disabilities who want to work. ACCES-VR has 15 district offices and 10 satellite offices throughout New York State. Your local office is designated by your zip code or city of residency and can be found on the ACCES-VR webpage. Let ACCES-VR be your resource for qualified workers. ACCES-VR provides workforce preparation at no cost to businesses. We are the link to human resource solutions for businesses. We do this by providing the highest quality vocational rehabilitation to all eligible persons. As a partner with the business community, we bring an extensive support system to businesses and employees. We are a connection to workforce development, one-stop centers, New York State Department of Labor, and the business community, labor organizations, not-for-profits, and schools in your community. We place over 13,000 people in a year in jobs in New York State. Some of our strategies for business needs: we assist local businesses through our qualified talent pool. Each district office has candidates who are ready to work. We provide intensive job placement. We offer no-cost recruitment of pre-screened applicants. We can save businesses time and money. This can also assist federal contractors and their subcontractors with meeting their 7% aspiration goals per Section 503 of the Rehabilitation Act new rules. We offer financial incentives, work tryout, on-the-job training, and federal and state tax credits. We offer no-cost training on disability issues. Many of the ACCES-VR business relations team members are certified as ADA network trainers, providing access to modularized curriculum of topics regarding the American with Disabilities Act, disability, and disability awareness. We engage businesses through events including National Disability Employment Awareness Month, Disability Mentoring Day, Transition and Career Fairs for youth and adults, and targeted business recruitment. These are some of the many tax credits that are available to local businesses if they hire an individual who is a participant of ACCES-VR. Work tryout can offset many of the costs associated with hiring new employees, and the businesses can be assured that the employee is the right fit for the job. ACCES-VR can reimburse a business for 100% of an employee's wage up to 480 hours. This offers the business the opportunity to evaluate the employee's ability to perform the job. This wage reimbursement program requires the business to place the new hire on the company's payroll and cover them with all benefits, including workers' compensation and Social Security. Reimbursement occurs whether the employment outcome is successful or not. The tryout period length is determined jointly by the employer and the ACCES-VR representative. The ACCES-VR work tryout reimbursement breakdown is calculated on an hourly basis with a maximum of 480 hours reimbursed at 100% of gross wage. ACCES-VR can reimburse a business for wages paid during the training of a new employee when the ACCES-VR trainee requires specific skills, training, and supervision. The ACCES-VR trainee is placed on the company's payroll and covered with all benefits, including workers' compensation and Social Security during the agreed upon training period during the usual company benefits. The business agrees to retain the ACCES-VR trainee upon completion of the training period. The ACCES-VR counselor and the employer will agree upon the length of the training period appropriate to the job. Upon the final retention of the trainee, the business will be eligible for all applicable tax benefits. Next, we will discuss additional business services ACCES-VR provides to businesses at no cost. Worker retention services assist businesses with retaining valuable employees. An example of worker retention services. An employee who has been very dependable is increasingly having difficulties in performing his labor duties due to a back injury. The employee's attendance and punctuality and work ethic are highly valued by the employer. The employee applies to ACCES-VR to explore his options. The employer offers the employee a completely different position as a sales representative, and ACCES-VR provides an OJT to offset the training cost to the employee. Reasonable accommodations. Our business relations team will help businesses develop effective worksite accommodations. 31% of reasonable accommodations cost $0 to businesses. 19% cost between $1 and $50. Section 44 of the Internal Revenue Code offers the disabled access tax credit for small businesses, which are any business that in the preceding year has a gross receipt of 1 million or less or employed 30 or fewer full-time employees. This credit of up to $5,000 per year may be received for providing accommodations for employees with disabilities in compliance with the ADA. Most of ACCES-VR's business service team is part of the ADA Trainer Network, providing businesses with access to customizable modular curriculum on a number of ADA and disability-related topics. Presentations are customized for the audience, the topic, and the length of available time. I encourage you to reach out to your local ACCES-VR business service representative for more information. We offer different types of referrals dependent upon the wishes of the business. Sometimes we act as a single point of contact for the employer, and all referrals are channeled through ACCES-VR. Some employers are willing to receive resumes directly from our vendors and partner organizations, where we act more as a clearinghouse. Sometimes we do the pre-screening of all candidates, and sometimes this also might get farmed out to our local and individual providers. We always offer no-cost disability etiquette and disability awareness as to local businesses. We often find that this training provides a good introduction to our services. Thank you, and please feel free to contact me with any questions.
Thank you, Ashley, Alan, and Tylena. I want to remind everyone who's attending this webinar to put your comments or questions in the Q&A and chat box. We will answer all of those questions after our next panel concludes. And so now I would like to introduce our next group of panelists. These we will be discussing economic development and advocacy opportunities for your businesses. Joining us are Evan Bowker from Delaware County Economic Development, Carrie Green from Commerce Chenango, and Al Rubin from the Otsego County Chamber of Commerce. Evan, would you please start with your overview of some local and state programs available to businesses? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. Thanks everyone for coming. So my name is Evan Bowker. I work for Delaware County Department of Economic Development. As Alan and Tylena and Ashley went over some of the workforce opportunities, one thing I would like to go over is just some of the funding opportunities out there, specifically tied to hiring as hiring incentives. There's three I'd like to touch upon. Two are statewide, and one is for Delaware County specifically. And I'm just going to be pretty brief on all of these. And if you want more information, you can reach out to me if you're in Delaware County or my other county counterparts, or I do have some contact information for some of these programs. So this is a new program, New York State Tourism Return to Work Grant Program. These are for tourism businesses. And this is kind of a recovery grant program, basically for any tourism business that hires more than 2 full-time equivalent jobs between now, January 1st and June 30th, is eligible for up to $5,000 for each new full-time equivalent and $2,500 for each part-time, and that's net. So as I go through some of these other programs, this is just going to look at your hiring overall figures, probably through your New York 45 forms, and basically just grant you the funds. They're still creating this program. It's early on, so I don't have all the information. One of the questions I've been getting is what exactly is a tourism business or a nonprofit? They have created a general list, and I can share that in the comments later. I have a link to it. And it also has a gross receipts loss tied to it. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I don't know a tourism business that hasn't had a gross receipts loss between 2019 and 2020. So most likely you will have that. So that's the Tourism Return to Work program. This is the Delaware County specific program. This is a lot functioning like that tourism program. Also the OJT program that Tylena talked about, Ashley talked about their OJT program. Anybody, I'm not going to talk about that specific one since they touched upon it. It's a really good program. If you're interested, please reach out to them. This is the Delaware County Train to Work initiative. Basically same thing, $5,000 for each full-time equivalent hire up to $2,500 for each part-time hire, but these are tied to each specific job. So if you have a job opening right now, what I hear from a lot of people, a lot of employers, is that they're basically hiring anybody that can show up right now. So this just helps with the cost of training. A lot of the times it's just having one of your supervisors put more attention onto this new hire. You're losing a little bit of productivity, or this new hire, if they show up, they don't have the specific skills. This just helps you, pay a little bit of the training costs, maybe incentivize taking a risk on someone who doesn't have the skills, but again, they show up. That's what this was designed for, as well as for the residents, the local residents, to open up, more opportunities for them to get jobs that they don't have the skills for, but they're willing to show up and get trained on those. So if you have any questions about this program, please contact me. My contact details will be on here. And you want to contact us as early in the hiring process as possible, because you have to have a contract filled out before you actually hire this person. And then there's the Excelsior Jobs Tax Credit. This is another statewide program you may know about, may not know about. First thing I'll say, it's really for larger projects, with like at least 20 jobs created. And that's the amount that you will get for your tax credit, for your wage expense. And this goes through our regional offices, Empire State Development. So I left their information there at the bottom. If you're in Delaware, Chenango, you're in the Southern Tier region. And if you're in Otsego, you're in the Mohawk Valley region. I put their regional office email in here. I'm not sure if this is something Margot could also help out with, because I know you mentioned that she might be able to help out with certain tax credits. But with this one, it really usually goes through ESD. So I put that information in there as well. You're going to have to submit an application. It could be a little complicated. So at least reach out to ESD and see if your project is a good fit first. And those were the ones I just wanted to quickly touch upon for funding as hiring incentives. So here's my information right there. I'm also going to put that list of tourism businesses, if anybody was interested, if they qualify, in there, because that's usually the first question I get. And any other questions, I'll answer at the end of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evan. Now I'd like to introduce Carrie Green from Commerce Chenango to talk about other economic development opportunities for businesses.
Thanks, Zoe. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all today, at least virtually. I just want to talk a little bit about what we do at Commerce Chenango, and I like my counterparts in Otsego and Delaware. We all do a little bit of everything. So I'm going to focus on some of the initiatives we've been doing here, and I'm sure they're also working on theirs as well. So Commerce Chenango is set up a little uniquely. We are an agency that we are the county Chamber of Commerce. We're also the Economic Development Agency, tourism, the IDA. It's all under one roof. So that sounds really great, but it means we have a pretty big plate and a lot of things that we have to take care of here. But one of the things that we've been focusing on is this issue of workforce development. And many of our businesses throughout the region are dealing with this, just like in my neighboring counties, Otsego and Delaware. So what we've been doing at Commerce Chenango is using our resources and our community members to really try to hone in on what some of those issues are. One of the things you hear a lot nowadays is that people just don't want to work. They blame unemployment. They blame all these other things about why it's so hard to fill roles. But we don't look at it that way at Commerce Chenango, and I don't think most of my colleagues here do either. A lot of the issues about returning to work are a little deeper rooted, and they have to do with childcare issues, transportation issues. There's a lot of factors that keep people from going back to work, especially in some of those service industries, jobs that are during off times. It really can add a lot of complications. So at Commerce Chenango last year, we started a group talking specifically about childcare issues in Chenango County. So we have been working independently as a county, but then also reaching out to our neighbors in the Southern Tier to talk about how we're going to address issues such as childcare. Chenango County was declared a childcare desert. We all knew that, but it's great to hear it from the state. And we're looking for ways to find this new determination to see how can we make this actually happen in Chenango County. Looking at ways to, are we creating a child care center? How are we getting the word out there? One is, yes, we definitely need a child care center. There aren't enough seats for all the need here. But the other side of that is the workforce training side. So how do we get people educated about becoming a certified child care provider? How do we get these people in these positions, but then keep them in those jobs so that they're not then jumping to a school where they can maybe make more money as an aide or get better benefits. So, we're taking this a deeper look, as a group and as a community to say, what can we do to help with some of these issues? And I know that's something that, my counterparts have also been thinking about and talking about, pretty widely. So that's one of the ways that we're working here in Chenango County to try to combat some of the workforce issues. There are great programs out there for transportation. If you're not familiar with the Get There program, that's a really wonderful program for people that have some transportation issues. They have ride share capabilities. It's handled by Rural Health Network, and I think that's another great way to try to hit some of the issues regarding transportation to work. We also do a lot with advocacy. So, I know Alan's going to talk a little bit about this, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but we really work closely with our state agencies and our partners. I mean, I work with Delaware, I work with Otsego, I work with the Southern Tier very closely. Our partners at the New York State Economic Development Council and the Chamber Alliance for New York State, these are all really important agencies that are working on a much broader scale to help with legislation and issues that are really directly affecting the workforce issues that we're looking at in our region. So I really just encourage you to have those conversations with the people in your community that are in the role that I have. So, the people on this panel are all really great resources. We work really closely with our CDO Workforce Office. I'm a new member of the CDO Workforce Board. It's really important to get out there and tell them what some of your issues are. It's not one fits all. I think that's important to remember. Every one of your businesses have its own issues related to workforce. And the only way that we can address them is if you tell somebody what's going on, and let's try to find a way to make this work. Every community, every job is going to have a different way to approach this. So, I really encourage you to have those conversations, reach out to your counterparts. I'll throw a link to our website in the chat, so you have my contact information. And I encourage you to reach out to them. And if maybe we all need to put our heads together and try to address your situation. But that's what I wanted to share with you today, and just a couple of examples how we're working on it in Chenango County. And I look forward to hearing from the rest of the panel and your questions later. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Carrie. Now I will turn to Al Rubin from the Otsego County Chamber, who has joined us and who mentioned that he does want to speak about advocacy. Al,
Sure.
please go ahead.
Hey, Zoe, good to see you and good to see everyone here. I've worked with many of you closely on a lot of different projects. And I think that's really key here when we talk about how we can move the needle forward for our region overall. And I think that collaboration is just such a big part of it. And so when we talk about what Commerce Chenango put out is the fact that they're all under one umbrella. Well, here in Otsego County, we're all very separate organizations. And in the time that I've been the interim CEO of Otsego County Chamber, what we've really learned is that all of us are facing so many of the same barriers, and we have a lot of the same goals, right? So just like Carrie said, we do need to put our heads together when it comes to addressing the state and our elected officials. And yesterday we held our State of the State event for our chamber. And again, we talk about the different barriers, workforce development being one of them. So I always enjoy listening to Alan Sessions and his counterparts on what they're offering to the region overall. Alan's a member of our board also. So when we talk about advocating for workforce development and the different programs that they have, I know that the chamber has supported numerous of the goals of the CDO workforce, specifically around the disability programs. Now, what these opportunities give us is being able to tap into a labor pool that a lot of people haven't even thought of tapping into. And so the fact that it's available and that they're putting it together, and the fact that there's continued support for businesses and the employees that are being hired is just an amazing thing that people really need. We need to get that out there that much not that much more. Advocacy, right? Right now, so many sensitive things taking place in New York State. And I think what we really do as a Chamber of Commerce is we try and set goals on how we could make the state more friendly to economic development in our businesses in a lot of different ways, and make sure that the many businesses who don't have the resources to hire those maybe the higher priced attorneys or the higher priced accountants or the different people that might be able to guide them in certain ways, that the mid-sized and small businesses are not left out. And that's what we do as a chamber. So we provide a tremendous amount of seminars on a regular basis focused around labor law and, sexual harassment process and, marijuana use in the workplace, and just a whole host of different things that we are working towards to make sure that our small and mid-sized companies aren't left out. I always share this story because why I engaged in the chamber. And so my business is in transportation. I've been doing it for 30 years. And when we started our business, we were growing and growing and growing. We had a whole lot of buses and large vehicles in a municipality. And all of a sudden, that municipality, a week later, all of the vehicles were being pulled off the road. And as a small business owner, we're wondering why that's happening. And it happened because this common council of the municipality we were operating in passed a new law without us even knowing about it, right? So these are the things that when you're in the work, when you're in your business, you're not always able to pay attention to the things that are going on around you. And that's why you need organizations like ours to try and keep you in the know of what's going on and support you along the way. We also advocate in sensitive areas, energy and things such as that. Maybe there's a company that might want to come to your area that may need natural gas. And you know what? That's okay. We have to be there to try and support that, because we need to be able to provide a menu, an a la carte menu of energy needs and energy sources so that all types of business can operate here. Right now, we're dealing with some sensitivity around, the sale of cannabis and dispensaries and things like that. Again, a legal business now in New York State, we need to support all types of business. So we stand by what Delaware County Chamber has done in that, and standing by business overall. So we are able to be the face and the voice of the many businesses that may not be able to put themselves at the forefront for concerns that it might come back on them. So we're able to do that for them. And obviously sensitivity around minimum wage, and sure, there's impact there. And we stand by the idea, stand by the fact that people do need to make more money to survive. Yes, but how does the state come in and support our businesses in order to be able to do that, right? So we're okay with it, but we can't be carrying all the burden on our shoulders. So we'll advocate for the ability to do that, but we do need to really push aggressively to make sure that we're getting support in some way, whether it's in the form of tax credits or things such as that. When it comes to connecting the dots, our chamber does that. So again, different from Commerce Chenango, where everything's under that one umbrella, we have to make sure that when we get information, we know the right people to put the people who need support in touch with. So we have a great IDA here. We have the Small Business Development Center. We have a close working relationship. Empire State Development, the Mohawk Valley Economic Development District, and we have destination marketing for our tourism end, and so on and so forth. CADE when it comes to farming. So we're constantly having to communicate with a lot of different pieces of the puzzle here in this region to make sure that we're directing people the right direction. And again, I think that collaborating regionally is just so important. And I know I said it before, but that is just so important because we are facing the same barriers, whether it's workforce development, whether it's broadband or housing. And I probably just knocked off the top 3 issues that we have in our area. But right now, the really positive thing is we're ripe to grow. And what the one silver lining of this rotten pandemic has brought to us is the fact that people are looking to move out of densely populated areas. They're looking for the assets that we provide, more space, clean air, more outdoor opportunities, more walkability and things such as that. So right now is our time to come together so that we can come up with the ideas, so that when we can forecast what the barriers will be to getting people to come here, and we can work on the solutions together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Al. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the other panelists who are here. I'm going to bring up our gallery view now so you can see everyone. And if you want to ask questions to a person in particular, or if you have a question for the group, we'll address them now. Please put your questions in the chat or in the Q&A. And you know what, before we get to that, I don't think I ever introduced Alice Savino, who's the Executive Director of CDO Workforce. Alice has been on this call and she's been helping us, but she introduced us at the beginning. But Alice, did you have anything that you would like to say to the group?
Well, first of all, thank you all very much for coming today. I think there's a lot of activity going on, and there are a lot of opportunities, different opportunities. I know everyone is frustrated with the problems that we're facing, but I think that all of our speakers today offered some good opportunities and some options to get involved and make a difference in your community, to find the workers that you need, to train them and get assistance with doing that. I want to thank all the speakers. They did a great job.
So again, put your questions in the chat. I have one. Who do you contact and how do you go about starting an apprenticeship program at your business? I think this is for Tylena or Alan.
I think I might have the answer to that.
Oh, Alice.
There is special funding for apprenticeship programs and to start them. An apprenticeship program is complicated, but there are a lot of people to help and make it as easy as possible. New York State is divided into regions and has a person in each region that can come in and help you to start an apprenticeship, or you can choose to sign up with a sponsor that will do it for you. You can certainly start with CDO Workforce, and we can connect you to the apprenticeship training representative from New York State, and we can help you with the paperwork. And one thing, you know, it does seem overwhelming at first when you first look at it, but there is a ton of training funding available all over New York State for the apprenticeship program. The apprenticeship program is a huge focus for the federal government and the state government at this time. And that's because you get a trained workforce, you get a loyal workforce normally. In the past, apprenticeships have been most notable in the trades, but now there are apprenticeship programs approved by New York State for in everything from hospitality to IT. I mean, there are all kinds of new programs coming up, and it's easy to have them come in and identify what kind of apprenticeship you would qualify for, what the needs would be for you to do to get an apprentice, New York State registered apprenticeship up and running. And all of the SUNY and community colleges have training money to provide the related instruction that is a necessary part of an apprenticeship program. So that is all available at no charge. So if you're at all interested, I would strongly suggest that you look at an apprenticeship program to develop the workforce you have and to keep it. A lot of retirements coming up on the horizon, and this is a way to take advantage of the people that you have now that can train those new people in experts in their trade, so they don't walk out the door with all your industry knowledge.
Thanks, Alice. We have a couple more questions that came into the chat. The first one is, what are the requirements, the documentation, et cetera, for submission of project level inquiries? Now, I'm not sure who this goes to, so I wanted to open it up to the panel.
That might be Evan in economic development. If you're looking for capital investment projects, right, Evan?
Yeah, I'm a little confused by the question. What are the requirements for submission of project level inquiries? I guess you can just reach out to me, and depending on the project, I believe I know what project you might be talking about, so feel free to reach out.
Thank you. We might get more on that question in a second, but I'll ask the next question. They said that their organization looks for seasonal staff, summer camp. Could you speak to if your programs are suited or applicable for seasonal employment?
Just since I'm already unmuted, Train to Work Initiative, Delaware County, not for seasonal. The New York State Tourism Return to Work Program, since it's just between January 1st and June 30th, if you have hired people before June 30th, you know, I might give it a shot. And correct me if I'm wrong, but seasonal jobs during summer and summer camp is kind of perfect for our youth program, correct, CDO? Yeah.
That would be perfect for the youth.
Tylena, do you want to follow up on that? No.
Depending on the area that you're in, we can definitely help recruit within the office. We could look at it with our youth program, and in the past, we have had job fairs for that seasonal employment.
Excellent. So here's another question. Job Corps is in need of employees, but also in need of employers to place students with. Where do we fit? How can we benefit from your services, but also help employers?
I can start if you want. So, you know, each of us, you know, depending on where you're looking to grow, you know, each of our organizations have affiliations with chambers and economic development in one way or another. You know, looking at ways to get more involved with those chambers, with those boards. You know, sometimes you know, members. I don't know if you're often members of the chambers of commerce in the counties that you serve, but also getting involved in advocacy and on those boards and being a part of their programs. the best way to connect with businesses is to get involved with those organizations. And the best way to do that would be to join the organization and volunteer to be on a work group or board, or, you know, attend events, that kind of a thing. You know, it's all about networking and knowing people and meeting people and letting them know what you have to offer. So that's, if it were me, that's what I would do. I attach myself to one or all of the organizations, and especially, you know, the areas that you want to expand in. And then that will help you get the employers that you're looking for to connect with your services.
Anyone else? Are there other ways that you can help Job Corps not only find employees for their centers, but also find places locally, businesses that are in need of employees that they can place their students with?
Absolutely. I'll jump in on that. So certainly, I think it's important that we are able to give Job Corps the opportunity to present what it is they're offering, and what it is from both standpoints, both what type of employees they can offer to the industries in need within our area, the jobs that need to be filled, as well as the jobs that they're trying to fill. So what I would suggest, especially being in Otsego County and Job Corps being right here in our backyard, is giving Job Corps the opportunity to present a seminar of some type through one of our events with the chamber, and having them go and provide the necessary information. We will do it free of charge to our members and the community overall, and really just being that conduit so that they can get the information out there that they need. We'll also put them in touch, if they are able to send us information prior, about the different trainings and the different things that are being done up there for the people that are attending, as well as the jobs in need. We'll connect them with the businesses that come to us that say what their needs are. Also, the businesses that are in need, both from an employment and an employee standpoint. So we're certainly willing to help them out with that.
Do we have any other questions? Oh, Jocelyn at Job Corps says that Al and Carrie, you'll be hearing from her soon.
Excellent.
So that's excellent. Making connections.
There we go.
And I think that's important.
I'd just like to say that again, by tomorrow morning, you will all receive an email from with the recording, a link to the recording, the slide presentations that we used, and any links that were brought up are in, any contact information are all in those slide presentations. So everyone who registered for the webinar will have all of that information by tomorrow morning.
And I'd like to remind everyone that CDO Workforce has a newsletter. You can sign up for it on the CDO Workforce website, which there'll be a link to do that in the email that you get. And that's something that goes out monthly with more workforce and recruiting information about our local area that you can make use of, and that can be a resource to you as well. So please consider doing that. I said I would give a plug to the newsletter for Jody, because she does a great job of putting it together every month. Again, thank you for coming. And if there are no more questions, we will end the webinar. Thanks to our panelists too.
Yes, thank you all very much for taking time to do
Thank
this.
you. Have a great day.
Thank you for having us.